Hi, my name is Jay with Foosball tables. First off, let's talk to the kick family. Today I'll be showing you how to properly set up and assemble your kick Quatro Brown 4-in-1 multi-game table. Now I know sometimes these instruction manuals can be pretty hard to go by, so I want you to revert to your manual for a parts list only. And some of my videos do not reflect some of the step-by-step diagrams located in the construction manual. With no further delay, let's go ahead and get started.
The first thing you want to do is open your box and take a look at your contents. Then you want to lay each piece out onto your floor individually. If you're assembling your foosball table on a rough surface, I do recommend that you lay down a large blanket or large piece of cardboard. That way we don't damage our table during the assembly process. Next, you want to match each part to what's inside your instruction manual. Once you've sorted out all the parts in the box and once you've matched each part to what's inside your instruction manual, if you had noticed any missing or damaged parts, please contact Kick customer support with pictures of the shipping label, the box itself, and the damaged part. Our contact information will be listed at the end of this video. For step 1, we'll be inserting all 4 of our number 47 nuts into all 4 holes of both end panels number 2. You just want to make sure that the hole on the end of the nut aligns with the hole on the end of the end panel. You also want to make sure that the groove on the end of the nut faces outwards. Go ahead and insert your nut into the hole. Again, making sure that the hole is aligned with the end of the end panel. One quick note, if you notice that any of your lock nuts are not aligned properly to the end panel, you can use any Phillips head screwdriver to straighten them out. For step 2, we'll be attaching both of our end panels number 2 to one of our side panels number 1. We'll be using bolts number 43 and washers number 44. What you want to make sure on your side panel is that the ball entry hole that you see here is faced downwards closest to the floor, and that the groove that you see here on top of the side panel faces inwards towards you. Then on the end panel, you also want to make sure that the groove that you see here faces inwards towards you, and that the goalie hole faces downwards closest to the floor. Go ahead and line both the holes on your end panel to both the holes on your side panel. Next, you want to insert your number 43 bolt and number 44 washer into both the holes on the side panel. Then you want to go ahead and secure with the Allen wrench that was provided. For step number 3, we'll be inserting our Playfield number 4 onto the groove that you see here on your side panel and into the groove that you see here on both end panels. The best way to do this is to go ahead and turn your assembly into the upright position. Then you want to make sure that the Playfield at the graphic side is facing the correct way. Go ahead and insert your Playfield into the groove on both of your end panels. You also want to make sure that the Playfield slides into the second groove on your side panel. Before we move on to step 4, you just want to make sure that the Playfield is properly aligned and flush with both the end panels. For step 4, we'll be inserting our Playfield into the groove on the other side panel, number 1. You also want to make sure that you align both the holes on the side panel to both the holes on the end panel. You might need to adjust your Playfield a bit so it slides into all of the grooves properly. Then go ahead and insert your number 43 bolt and number 44 washer. Then you want to secure with the Allen wrench that was provided. Next, you want to turn the assembly upside down to where the graphics on your Playfield are face down. For step 5, we'll be attaching all 3 of our support braces, number 10, along with our support rods, number 7, and our nuts, number 46. You will notice that there are 3 holes on both sides of your side panel. So I'm going to go ahead and line up your support brace with those holes. Once in place, you want to go ahead and insert your support rod through the groove that you see here on your support brace and into both the holes on the side panel. Next, you want to take 2 of your number 46 nuts and hand thread them on each end of the rod, one turning clockwise and one turning counterclockwise until they are both tightened against the side panel. Once you've hand tightened both of your nuts against the side panel, I found it easier to use 2 different Allen wrenches, one on each side, one turning clockwise and one turning counterclockwise until they're both evenly tightened against the side panel. Next, you want to turn the assembly into the upright position. For step 6, we'll be inserting all of our player rods and attaching each player to each rod. You want to carefully review the diagram located in the instruction manual prior to inserting your rods.
Here's how to set up the rods and players on your new kick foosball table. Place 4 handles on each side of the table in this specific order. Make sure the 4 handles for your home team are in this specific order, as shown in the diagram. Also make sure your players are facing the opposing team and toward the opponent's goal, not the same team or your own goal.
What you want to make sure is that you have the correct amount of players per holes in your rod and that they are in the correct position on top of your table. You also want to make sure that there's a hole on the correct side of the table where the handles will later go. Next, you want to go ahead and insert all of your player rods about halfway onto the table. For step 6, you want to note that there's a bumper, a washer. Then you want to add the correct amount of players per holes in your rod. Then you want to add another washer and another bumper. And complete by sliding through the second hole. Then you want to go ahead and line up all your players over the holes on the rod. We'll be securing our players with bolts number 48 and lock nuts number 49. Next, you want to go ahead and line up your player, the chest of the player, to the hole on the rod. Insert your number 48 bolt through the chest of the player. Hold the bolt in place, turn your player around, insert your number 49 lock nut onto the back of the player, and then secure. One quick note, you might have noticed that there are 2 different steps for step 7, step 7A and step 7B, which require the usage of these 4 green triangle corner ramps. These ramps will only be used for a one-man goalie setup. To have a one-man goalie setup, you will replace these 2 outer men with the 2 white stop rings, and then secure the 4 green triangle corner ramps on all 4 corners of your playfield and screw them down with screws number 50. Again, these ramps will only work for a one-man goalie setup. They will not work with a 3-man goalie setup. Next, we'll be attaching our handles number 16 using screws number 51. This part's pretty simple. You just want to go ahead and line up the hole on the handle to the hole on the rod. Insert your number 51 screw and secure. Next, you want to attach your rubber end caps number 17 to the other end of the rod. One quick note, these rods are semi-hollow, so they are durable enough to rough play, yet light enough to let the player have full control over the rod. If you need a rod lubricant, please contact Kick and we'll send you a free complimentary bottle. Next, we're attaching our slide scorer number 29 along with our ball catcher number 30 with screws number 50. This part's pretty simple. You just want to go ahead and line up your slide scorer to the top of the end panel, making sure that the slide scorer at the inside covers the goalie hole completely. You will notice that there are 2 holes on both sides of your slide scorer. So I'm going to go ahead and insert your number 50 screw and secure. Next, you want to attach your ball catcher directly underneath the slide scorer. Next, we'll be securing our ball entry cups along with our ball entry sockets number 13 and securing them with screws number 50. You want to go ahead and insert your ball entry socket into the center hole on your side panel from the inside. Then you want to go ahead and attach your ball entry cup from the outside. You want to go ahead and screw it down until it's all the way flush against the side panel. You will also notice that there's a pre-scored hole on the bottom portion of your ball entry cup. You want to make sure that the cup is aligned and flush with the top of the end panel. Then go ahead and insert your number 50 screw and secure. For step 9, we'll be switching to our pool table assembly and attaching our angled legs 5A and 5B along with our straight legs 6A and 6B and securing them with bolts number 41, washers number 42, our positioning locks number 40 along with washers number 42. You will notice that there are 3 holes here on your side panel. We will be utilizing the first 2 holes for now and leaving this third hole empty, and I'll explain later what this third hole is for. To ensure that you are adding the correct angled leg to the correct side of the table, you want to make sure that the bolt pattern on the back faces inwards towards the other leg. You also want to be sure to attach your angled leg to the inside of the assembly and not to the outside. So this would be the correct position here. Next, you want to go to insert your positioning bolt and washer into the first hole on your side panel. Then you want to insert your number 41 bolt and number 42 washer into the second hole on the side panel and secure it with the Allen wrench that was provided. To ensure that you are adding the correct straight leg to the correct side of the table, you just want to make sure that you align the back of the leg to the square block that you see here and that it lines up flush up against it. You also want to make sure that the 2 nuts on the back of your leg face outwards towards you. If the holes do not line up properly, then you have the wrong leg. Once you have the correct leg lined up properly, go ahead and insert your number 40 positioning bolt and number 42 washer into the first hole. Then insert your number 41 bolt and number 42 washer into the second hole and secure with the Allen wrench that was provided. For step 10, we'll be attaching all 3 of our leg panels, number 9, between both of our legs. You'll notice that there are 2 holes here on both sides of your leg. So go ahead and line up your leg panels over those holes. We will be attaching our leg panel with screws number 45. Just want to go insert your screw into the side of the leg and into the leg panel. And then secure. Next, we'll be attaching our leg levelers number 12 to the bottom base of each leg. The purpose of these leg levelers is to stabilize your table during play, so that if one side is higher than the other, you just unscrew them a couple notches to even out your playing field. 2 people are required for the turning over of your game table. You want to be sure not to rest the weight of the table on either of the 4 legs. You just want to turn over the table in one swift full motion so that all the legs hit the ground at the same time. To store your table in an upright storing position, you'll need to remove both of your positioning locks on both sides of your angled legs. Then you want to gently lift your table on the opposite end into the upright position and remove both of the positioning locks on your straight legs.
Congratulations! We have finally finished assembling our Kick Quatro Brown 4-in-1 multi-game table. You are now free to enjoy your table with your friends and family. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please visit us at www.kickfoosballtables.com or you can email us at support@kickfoosballtables.com.